Welcome for those of you joining us streaming for this. We will begin in just a few minutes, but welcome on. Once again, welcome. If you are joining us online here, we're going to begin in just a couple of minutes. Well, we are going to begin here. Good evening and welcome to the Perseverance Party Primary Open Forums. For those of you streaming this webinar to listen in, welcome, and we hope that you enjoy hearing from your candidates in this party. Representative candidates, senatorial candidates, and the presidential and vice presidential tickets will be answering questions here today, so you can look forward to hearing from these candidates. Kendall and I are reporters moderating this primary open forum, and on behalf of the TeenPact Network News elections team, we'll be asking questions of the candidates here today to give you as the voter a greater understanding of who you think will best represent you by serving the TeenPact Nation as an elected official.
Good evening. As Olivia mentioned, the candidates here tonight had the opportunity to run for a few different positions, and those positions are representative, senator, president, and vice president. So firstly, we just want to thank all of the candidates for using this opportunity to serve the Ministry of TeenPact in this unique way by running for office, even on a virtual platform. We know there's been so much hard work and adjustment that's gone into each of your campaigns, and we're deeply grateful for the flexibility and grace that you all have had throughout this process. So how this open forum will work is that we will be calling each of you up from the category of office that you are running for. So first we'll have all our representative candidates join us and answer some questions. Then that will be followed by senatorial candidates. And then finally, we'll hear from the presidential and vice presidential tickets.
Yes, and so without further ado, we are going to begin right away here with our representative candidates. Your representative candidates in the Perseverance Party are Madeline Bizak, Jake Britsky, Evie Erickson, Victoria Hempel, Ashton Hobbs, Joseph Lassiter, Tyla Lynn, Isabel McConnell, Mitchell McCoy, Shiloh Stuckey, Lauren Wagner, Luke Wilson, and Chloe Jo Woodall. So for this first question, we are going to start with Madeline, and the candidates are going to state their name and slogan.
Hi guys, my name is Madeline Bizek, and my slogan is Find Peace.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Jake Britsky, and my slogan is Waymaker.
Hey guys, my name is Evie Erickson, and I'm running with the slogan Faithful in the Little Things.
Hey y'all, I'm Victoria Hempel, and I'm running with the slogan Enough in Christ.
Hi everyone, my name is Ashton Hobbs, and I'm running with the slogan Upstream.
Hi everyone, I'm Joseph Lassiter, and I'm running with the slogan of Back to the Basics.
Hi everyone, I'm Tyla Lynn, and my slogan is Be a Good Light.
Hello everyone, my name is Isabel McConnell, and I'm not running with the slogan.
Hey everyone, my name is Mitch McCoy, and I'm running with the slogan Full Dependence.
Hey everyone, my name is Shiloh Stuckey, and I'm running with the slogan Love Like Jesus.
Hi there, my name is Lauren Wagner, and I'm running with the slogan Find Joy in the Journey with Lauren.
Hey y'all, my name is Luke Wilson, and I'm running with the slogan All Glory Be to Christ.
Hi guys, my name's Chloe Jo Woodall, and I'm running with the message Just Vibin'.
Thank you, candidates. For our next question, we'll be starting with Joseph. And this question is just to have you all explain your message. And if you do not have a specific message, then explain why you think it is important for you to run for representative.
Thank you. I'm Joseph Lassiter, and my message today is there's nothing new under the sun. And I just found that very a message that came to me, especially during this crisis of this COVID-19. And it showed that back in the day and today, there's really nothing new under the sun. Thank you, Joseph Lassiter.
Thank you, Joseph. And next we'll be hearing from Tyla.
Yes, my name is Tyla Lynn, and my slogan, Be a Good Light, comes from the analogy that as Christians, we are light bulbs in a sense, and we relate to them in the ways that they share light and how they're all different, but they're unified in the idea that when all of them work together, we light the whole world.
Thank you, Tyler. Next, we'll be hearing from Isabel.
Hello again, everyone. My name is Isabel McConnell. I am not running with a message this year solely for the fact that I'd love to see the election process get back to the roots of running against each other and not necessarily focusing on spiritual messages and putting those up against each other in our decision whom we would like to elect. Again, my name is Isabel McConnell.
Hey everyone, my name is Mitch McCoy, and I am running with the message Full Dependence. So it really made me wonder, why does God use us when we're most dependent on Him and not really on ourselves in those moments when, maybe we feel like God's not, or not like we're not, like we feel less about ourselves and whatnot. And so it really just made me wonder, like, why does God use us when we are in those deepest and those darkest times? But it's truly because God is magnified in those moments. It really comes from Matthew 16:24. Just the fact that then Jesus said to his disciples, if anyone wishes to come after me, he must deny himself, take up his cross, and follow me. So this is a call to not rely on yourself, but to rely on God, because ultimately Christ will use us more when we're dependent on him, not when we're dependent on ourselves. It's just really something that has resonated with my heart, and over this time really has impacted me, because ultimately on my own, I am not going to do much for the kingdom of God, but with Christ, I can do incredible things, because he is so much better than,
That is time. Thank you, Mitch. And next we'll hear from Shiloh.
Hi, everyone. Again, my name is Shiloh Stuckey, and my message is on love like Jesus. And this message is based off of 1 Corinthians 13. This is one of my favorite Bible passages because it explains that if I have all the knowledge in the world, if I have all the worldly belongings I may want, but don't have love, I am nothing. I want to love everyone I ever come into contact with. And I want to show them Jesus through how I speak, how I act, and who I am. I want to glorify his name as much as humanly possible. I am called to love him above anything else, and I am called to love everyone I meet on this earth. I want to grow as a leader so that I can love and bless as many of God's children as I can. Thank you so much, and my name is Shiloh Stuckey, and my slogan is Love Like Jesus.
Thank you, Shiloh. Next, we'll hear from Lauren.
Hi there. Once again, my name is Lauren Wagner, and this year I'm running with a message that comes straight out of Romans 8:28. Which is a pretty popular Bible verse that I had never really related to as much as I have this year through experiences that I've had. And it's pretty common, so a lot of y'all probably know it. Says, for we know all things work together for the good of those who love the Lord. And it's just been a really great reminder to have this year that even if something doesn't feel like it's good for you, it is if you love the Lord. So sometimes when something might not go my way, or I don't exactly get maybe the staff position that I was really hoping for, just to know that even though it doesn't feel good, it really is for my betterment because I love the Lord. I'm just recognizing this year that God's timing is above my timing, and his plan is above my plan. And that's why the Lord holds our life in his hands, and he's the planner and not me. Thank you very much. My name is Lauren Wagner.
Thanks, Lauren. And next we're going to hear from Luke.
Hey, y'all. Once again, my name is Luke Wilson. When I was trying to decide what my message was going to be, I really felt like I was being led to this 1 Corinthians 13 idea of love. And then as the corona hit, I really felt Jesus just changing my direction. And I kept being reminded of this phrase that I wrote on my arm when I was staffing the Arkansas class. And it's this phrase, all glory be to Christ. And it really helped me, especially during this corona season. And it really resonated with me because this phrase kept coming to mind that no matter what happens, no matter what the corona causes, no matter circumstances that we can't control, that Christ is on the throne, that Jesus has already won the war. So we don't have to live in fear, worry, or anxiety, but we can live in the victory of Jesus, and that we can live giving all glory to Christ. Once again, my name is Luke Wilson. Thank you.
Our next candidate is Chloe Joe.
Hi guys, I'm Chloe Joe, and the message I'm running on is called Just Vibin'. And I know it's a little bit different, but I know that that's something that I say all the time. And so I looked into what just vibin' means. And it means just chilling and being at peace and letting life do its thing. Then I saw the verse Psalm 62:5 that says, "For God alone, O my soul, wait in silence and be at peace, for my hope is from him." God literally calls us to vibe, which is crazy because I've been saying it so much. And I realized that I fill my life with so many different things and distractions, and I know a lot of other people do too. But silence and boring times in our lives are blessings from God. And he gives us to draw closer to him and to see him move and hear him speak. And then we're filling it up with all of these different things instead of just vibing. Thank you. My name is Chloe Joe Odell.
Next, we'll hear from Madeline.
Hey guys. Hey guys, my name is Madeline, and the title of my message is Find Peace. John 16:33 says, I have said these things that in me you may find peace. In the world you will have trials and tribulations, but take heart because I have overcome the world. Peace is knowing that the Lord of the universe is by your side and resting in that fact. During your time on this earth, you will have trials and tribulations, but the Lord has already overcome every single one of those. The Lord says, in me you will find peace. So I encourage you guys that whatever storm you're going through, look to God and know that you can find peace in him and through him. Thank you. Again, my name is Madeline Bezek.
Thank you, Madeline. And next we'll hear from Jake.
Hey guys, I'm Jake Britsky, and my message, Waymaker, stems from the verse Proverbs 3:5-6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your path. Basically, the Lord showed me that this simply means if we acknowledge him in all of our ways, if we submit to him, then no matter the circumstance, no matter how hopeless it seems or how terrible or how confusing, he's always going to show us a way out. He's going to be faithful in that because he promised it in his scriptures. Thank you. My name is Jake Britsky.
Thank you, Jake. And now we'll hear from Evie.
Hey guys, my name is Evie Erickson. So I am actually running with a message, but I would just like to say, no, I don't think we should be voting based upon whose message is better, but I am running with a message simply because I'm excited to be able to use this platform to share something that simply the Lord has been teaching me. And that thing is to be faithful in the little things. It comes from Luke 16:10, which says, he who is faithful in the little things will also be faithful in much. And I have spent so much of my life looking at places that I'm not. I wanted to get this big position, I didn't get it. And so I think I can't serve the Lord unless I get to this big place that I wanted to get to. But this message has simply reminded me that it's about being faithful where I am right now. I can't be a missionary in Africa and faithful doing that if I can't be faithful being a missionary in my own town. It comes down to me being faithful where I am right now. Thanks. I'm Evie Erickson.
Thank you, Evie. Next, we'll hear from Victoria.
Hi guys, I'm Victoria Hemphill, and I am running with the message of enough in Christ. This is based off 2 Corinthians 12:9-10. I realized that I was putting my worth in earthly things, and that ultimately those would never fill the void of being enough. God created us to be insufficient because we were created to have an inherent need for him and find our enough in him. So I would just encourage you guys that when you don't feel enough, to know that is purposeful on God's part because you were meant to feel enough in him. Thank you. Once again, I'm Victoria Hemphill.
Thanks, Victoria. And finally, we will be hearing from Ashton.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ashton Hobbs, and my message is upstream. One day I was at the Eno River in Durham, North Carolina, and I walked out on the swinging bridge. I began to stop and look at the water, and I noticed how most of the water flowed downstream, but some of the water would hit a rock, and it would try its hardest to go upstream. And then I realized that as Christians, we are supposed to be that water that is fighting to go upstream. We want to fit into the crowd, and we want to follow society, but God says no. He says, be a light. In Matthew 5:14, it says, you are a light, a town built on a hill that cannot be hidden. God wants us to be unique, and God wants us to be different and let his name be known. TeenPact's motto is changing lives to change the world. And the only way we can do that is if we are being different and flowing upstream rather than following the crowd. Again, my name is Ashton Hobbs, and my message is upstream. Thank you.
Thank you very much, candidates. For this next question, we are going to begin with Shiloh. What are some of your specific leadership skills, and how have you already used these practically within your own communities?
Hey guys, I'm Shiloh, and my slogan is Love Like Jesus. And I think that some of my skills that God has gifted me with is just being a people person and just the ability to love wholeheartedly. And I really love to just be able to work with people and just to love them like God has loved me. And another skill that I have is public speaking. I really love to public speak and talk to people and touch as many lives as God has gifted me with. So I think that those are my top skills. And also I would just encourage you all to just always, remain joyful. It's not necessarily a gift, but I think that's something that's so important in life, is just always remaining joyful no matter what the circumstances. Thank you so much again. My name is Shiloh Stuckey, and my slogan is Love Like Jesus.
Thank you, Shiloh. Now we will hear from Lauren.
Hi guys, once again, my name is Lauren Wagner, and I'll have to agree with Shiloh. Absolutely. I'm definitely a people person. I love people. I am just fueled by people, and I enjoy being around them 24/7. I also just genuinely love everyone. I just love all the people all the time. And I have a very natural joy that's really hard to take away. And I know that's not because of myself, it's because of Christ. And I really just am happy that I'm a joyful person because I can't imagine it any other way. Another leadership quality that I think I have is that I really enjoy listening. I love to public speak. I love talking. I enjoy talking, but I also am a listener. I really like to just sit with someone and listen to their problems. Even if I don't have any helpful advice to give them, I really just enjoy listening because some people just need someone to talk to, whether or not they need advice or not. So yes, I would say joyful spirit, a loving heart, and genuinely just love to listen. Thank you.
Thank you, Lauren. Now we will hear from Luke.
Hey y'all, once again, my name is Luke Wilson. I've had some pretty unique and cool opportunities to lead in my own community, like being the captain of my mock trial team or leading my worship band. And through these, I've really learned three things. One, like Lauren just said, the ability to listen. It's definitely something that I struggled with, but over time that I've gotten a lot better at. Just listening to people's needs, listening to people's problems, their ideas. That's something that every good leader needs, not just to listen to his own ideas, but to listen to the ideas of everyone. Another thing that I've learned is when to make decisions. Sometimes as a leader, you need to make those hard decisions, and I've had to make several of those. So that's definitely something I've learned in those different positions. And then the last thing I've learned is this idea of teamwork. This idea that you can't be a one-man island, that you need help. And I think no good leader can really be that effective without other people. Thank you. My name is Luke Wilson.
Thank you, Luke. And now we will hear from Chloe Joe.
Hi guys, I'm Chloe Joe again. I have had the absolute honor and privilege to be able to staff with TeenPact for the past 2 years. And something that's helped me with that quality in myself is relatability. I have been through quite a few things in my life and had to deal with certain things. And I used to see them as terrible things. And I would ask God, why did this happen to me? Or why do I feel like this? And I realized in these past 2 years that was actually God equipping me. And relatability is something that's hard to have. People find it hard to open up to you. And through staffing and through leading Bible studies or just being a friend to people, relatability is so important, and it's helped me, my experiences in the past, that God has equipped me for that.
Thank you, Chloe Joe. Now we will hear from Madeline.
Hey guys, my name is Madeline, and I am the oldest of 4 kids, so I naturally have kind of that leadership personality. But one of the things I would say the most is I am a planner, I'm organized, and I love to just kind of keep things in check. And I have 3 younger siblings, so I'm always kind of like delegating, and I just really love kind of having people look up to me, and I enjoy connecting with people in all kinds of ways. And I'm very much a people person, so I think that kind of all plays into it. Again, I'm Madeline Bezak.
Thank you, Madeline. And now we will hear from Jake.
Hey guys, my name is Jake Britsky, and one of the leadership skills that I feel like I have been blessed with is being a people person as well. I really enjoy hanging out with people and being part of a team. Not only does being part of a team kind of distribute the burden, but it can also be very fun. I like to let other people take the reins. I like to listen to their ideas. And like I said, if necessary, you can be like, hey, you want to try? You want to try taking the lead? Let's go. Let's have fun with it. So that's just what I feel like. And I have had wonderful experiences utilizing this skill on my football team and staffing for TeenPact. So those were incredible experiences. Thank you. My name is Jake Britsky.
Thank you, Jake. Now we will hear from Evie.
Hey guys, my name is Evie Erickson, and to answer this question, I would have to say one of 2 things. The first thing being organization, and then the second thing being just having the quality to be able to come alongside people. I think it's easy when you think of a leader to think of someone who's just so far above the rest of the group and just isn't really a part of them. But I would say I have the ability to come alongside people. I've had the opportunity a couple years ago to be the coordinator be a child care coordinator in a ministry. So I was leading a lot of ladies through that. And so organization definitely came in that. And then also recently I've gotten to start a Bible study, which has been awesome. So to get to lead that in a sense, but really leading a Bible study really just means getting to participate and kind of help it, go well. So yes, I'm Evie Erickson. Thank you.
Thank you, Evie. Now we will hear from Victoria.
Hey y'all, I'm Victoria Hemphill, and I would say that two of my biggest leadership qualities are organization and flexibility. I've had the blessing to be able to coach a swim team for the past few summers, and it has really just taught me that, you have to be able to not only set a plan and be organized in it, but be able to be flexible in it, because ultimately things are going to go wrong with your plans. And so those are two of my biggest leadership qualities. Thank you. I'm Victoria Hemphill.
Thank you, Victoria. Now we will hear from Ashton.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ashton Hobbs, and I'm an Enneagram 1. So naturally, if you know what an Enneagram is, I'm very organized and very direct and open with people. So a lot of people always know what I'm thinking because I'm very open with what I am thinking. I'm also very good at directing what I want to do. If I want something to happen, normally make it happen. So I'd say that those are some leadership qualities that I have. Thank you. My name is Ashton Hobbs.
Thank you, Ashton. And now we will hear from Joseph.
Hi, I'm Joseph Lassiter. My slogan again is back to the basics, and a leadership quality I would say is I have been involved with a program called Civil Air Patrol, and I'm currently serve as a flight sergeant there. And a thing that I have learned through that program is communication is key a lot, and I'm a people person as well. Also, I am the oldest of 4 in our family, so I have a lot of leadership abilities or leadership skills. And again, I'm Joseph Lasser. Thank you.
Thank you, Joseph. Now we will hear from Tyla.
Hi everyone, again, my name is Tyla Lynn, and I think some leadership qualities that I have are organization and service. I really value serving other people, and I really enjoy listening to other people and just sharing input. So I've been able to implement this in the student government that I'm involved in, and I also lead worship at my church and my school. And just working in all of those places, getting to see what leadership really means and being a servant leader in that way. Again, my name is Tyla Lynn.
Thank you, Tyla. Now we will hear from Isabel.
Hello, everyone. My name is Isabel McConnell. A way that I've seen the Lord gift me with leadership and have been able to use that in my community is through organization. I'm the kind of person who loves to run things from the background. And so ways that have been manifested in my life is I've been able to run things for VBS at my church, whether that be a small group and leading things with a fellow co-leader. Another way is I have been able to nanny a young girl and coming alongside her, helping with school and being able to share with her the love of Christ. While she is a believer, there's certain areas in her life where she's lacking in her faith. And so being able to share with her has been a very unique opportunity, and it's been very cool. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Isabel. We will now last hear from Mitchell.
Hey guys, once again, my name is Mitch McCoy, and 2 leadership qualities that come to my mind when I think back through is really just having humility and being able to relate with others. So I worked at Chick-fil-A for the past 2 years, and that's really given me the opportunity to serve in an environment where I'm able to love on guests and love on my employees as well. And also this past semester, I was able to staff with TeenPact, and it really just gave me the opportunity to be around peers and be around kids that were younger than me, and was just able to love on them and pursue them as brothers, and just really just as that iron sharpening iron, just growing as together as friends. And so that's really what the Lord has given me, and I'm just so grateful for that. And so once again, thank you guys. My name is Mitch McCoy.
Thank you, candidates. Your next question is, what do you value more, tradition or creativity? And for this question, we will be starting with Luke.
Once again, my name is Luke Wilson. I think there's definitely a balance. I think tradition is something that's very important, something that we can definitely uphold, but also there's this idea of being creative and stepping out of the box. So I don't really think one's more than the other. However, being creative is definitely something that I value, and new ideas and stuff like that, while also reflecting to tradition into the past. Once again, my name is Luke Wilson. Thank you.
Thank you, Luke. And now we will hear from Chloe Jo.
Hi guys, I'm Chloe Jo again, and I definitely value creativity more. I think that sometimes it's hard to make your own ideas about things and to make things your own when you're just following tradition. And I see that a lot with Christianity and people's faith. Creativity allows you to make your faith your own, and we are a new creation, and tradition kind of holds on to old values. And that's not to say that anything old or traditional is bad, but I think that creativity is so important to make everything your own. Thank you. I'm Chloe Jo.
Thank you, Chloe Jo. And next we will be hearing from Madeline.
My name is Madeline, and I think that I would have to say I value creativity just a little bit more, because I think it's important to let people shine in their own way and to be creative with how they want to be creative. And as tradition is important and special, it's different. And I think they're both important, but I would definitely have to say lean a little bit more towards creativity, just because it's very important to let people kind of shine in their own way and bring something different to the table. Again, my name is Madeline.
Thank you, Madeline. Next, we'll be hearing from Jake.
Hey guys, my name is Jake Britsky. Personally, I'm a traditionalist. I love doing things the way that they've been done for some odd, however long years. But I would also have to agree with Luke Wilson on this one. There is definitely a balance. I think sometimes being traditional can stem from being afraid of new things. And I have recognized that in myself, which is why I'm open to creativity a lot. I do value creativity. I do see it, but I personally like tradition. Thank you. My name is Jake Britsky.
Thank you, Jake. And now we'll be hearing from Evie.
Hey guys, my name is Evie Erickson, and I would definitely have to go with creativity. I definitely think that a lot of times people will follow along with tradition and they will do things just because it's what's been done, and they don't really ask questions about why they're doing it. But I definitely am more towards the creative side, just because it's when people ask questions about why they're doing what they're doing. They're not just doing something because that's what everyone else does or has done. They're doing it because they want to, or they believe that they should be doing it. Thanks. I'm Evie Erickson.
Thank you, Evie. And next we'll be hearing from Victoria.
Hey guys, I'm Victoria Hemphill, and I would definitely have to go with creativity. I feel like often people can use tradition as just like a safe haven. They don't want to step outside their comfort zone and just go for it. But creativity allows us to show the gifts that God has given us and to change the world. So for that, I would say creativity. Thank you. I'm Victoria Hemphill.
Thank you, Victoria. And next we'll be hearing from Ashton.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ashton Hobbs, and I would have to say there has to be a good balance. There's a reason why things have been done a certain way for a long time. Traditionally, that's how things go, but also there should be a little bit of creativity so change, because if we do things the same way for a long time, then we do have to have a way to change things, and that's why creativity is important. So there needs to be a good balance between two. Again, my name is Ashton Hobbs.
Thank you, Ashton. And next we'll hear from Joseph.
I'm Joseph Lassiter, again, back to the basics. I have to agree a lot with Evie, but I am definitely a big supporter of, or I like to think of creativity, because basically in the Bible, you go to a country and you want to minister, or just ministering around to your house or around your community, you need to be creative on how to minister to them, especially if they're not getting and understanding the old traditional ways. Thank you. I'm Joseph Lassiter.
Thank you, Joseph. And now we will hear from Tyla.
My name is Tyla Lynn, and I think it's a perfect balance of the two, because I really value creativity and learning new things and trying new stuff that's never been done before. But traditional is the creativity of the past. And so there is definitely a value in remembering where we came from and how we got to where we are. And a lot of times you can build creativity of today on tradition. So thank you. My name is Tyla Lynn.
Thanks, Tyla. And now we'll hear from Isabel.
Hey guys, just like a few of the other candidates, I would have to go with tradition. I'm very much the person who loves to stick to the rules that we already have in place and traditions because they're in place for a reason. They're tried and true, right? But on the flip side, I would say there's a time and place for creativity. Times are always changing, and we have to be able to adapt, even as believers, when it comes to the ways that we're reaching other people. So I guess, like other people, it would have to be a balance of the two, but I do lean towards being traditional. Thank you guys. Again, my name is Isabel McConnell.
Hey guys, once again, it's Mitch McCoy. I'd probably have to go with creativity just because, as you never really hear about people who just followed with the crowd and never really hear about them. It's typically those people who went against the odds and tried something new. Those are the people that really make it far in life. So for that reason, I probably would go with creativity, but I do understand the values of traditional and staying with the programs that do work. And thanks again.
Thank you, Mitch. Now we will hear from Shiloh.
Hey guys, I'm Shiloh again, and my message is love like Jesus. And I would have to go with creativity because I think in this life, change is kind of inevitable. And God takes us on this crazy journey where everything changes all the time. And I think it's so important that we embrace creativity because that is how we are embracing our change and everything. And so I would go with creativity because God has given us each such unique gifts, and something that may have worked 20 years ago may not work now. So I would definitely go with creativity. Again, my name is Shiloh Stecky, and my message is love like Jesus.
Thank you, Shiloh. And finally, we will hear from Lauren.
Hi there, guys. Once again, my name is Lauren Wagner, and much like a lot of the other representative candidates, I would have to go with creativity. I think creativity, just like everything else, is a gift from God, and it's part of what makes each of us unique. We all have different minds and we work different ways, and we each bring something special. And it reminds me a little bit of Romans 12, where it's talking about how the body of Christ is one, but each member of the body is different. And that's kind of what I feel like creativity is. If we all had the same ideas and followed traditions constantly, we would never have anything new. And there's something satisfying about creativity and doing something new, something like outside of like the rules or the books. And that's part of the body of Christ, each having all separate members with different gifts and different creativities. Yeah. So Lauren Wagner, once again, thank you guys so much.
Thank you, candidates. And for this last part, we will begin with Lauren, and the candidates will state their name and slogan.
All right. Lauren Wagner, find joy in the journey with Lauren.
Hey y'all, once again, my name is Luke Wilson, and my slogan is all glory be to Christ.
Hey guys, my name is Chloe Jo Waddell, and the message I'm running on is just vibin'.
Hey guys, my name is Madeline Bezak, and the message I'm running with is find peace.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Jake Britsky, and my slogan is Waymaker.
Hey guys, my name is Evie Erickson, and my slogan is faithful in the little things.
Hey y'all, I'm Victoria Hemphill, and my slogan is enough in Christ.
My name is Ashton Hobbs, and my message is upstream.
I'm Joseph Lassiter, and my slogan is back to the basics, and my message is there's nothing new under the sun.
My name is Tyler Lynn, and my message is be a good light.
Hey guys, my name is Isabel McConnell, and I'm not running with a message this year.
Hey y'all, my name is Mitch McCoy, and my message is full dependence.
Hey guys, my name is Shiloh Stecky, and my message is love like Jesus for 1 Corinthians 13.
Great. Well, thank you, representative candidates. It has been a pleasure hearing about your messages and why you all have decided to run this year for the position of representative. At this time, we are going to move along to our senatorial candidates. So those running in the Perseverance Party this year for Senate are Claire Blassingame, Sarah Body, David Gause, Andrew Gwynn, Elise Hoff, Rebecca Levin, Franklin McMahon, and Macy Smith. So to start off, just like we did with our representative candidates, we are going to begin with Claire, and you all will have a chance to just simply state your name and your slogan, excuse me.
Hey guys, my name is Claire Blassingame. I am running with the reminder that you are not your own. Hey guys, my name is Sarah Body and I'm running with the slogan, Why Me?
Hello, everyone. My name is David Gause, and I am running with the campaign slogan of Different.
Hello, everyone. My name is Andrew Gwynn. Hope you're all doing marvelously well. And I'm running with the slogan, You Are a Theologian.
Hello, friends. My name is Elise Hope, and I'm running with the slogan Pursue.
Hello, everyone. I'm Rebecca Levin, and I'm running with the slogan Reaching for Christ.
Hey, TeenPacters. My name is Franklin McMahon, and I am running with the slogan, We Are Not Alone.
Hi, my name is Macy Smith, and my message is check your mirrors.
Thank you, candidates. For this next question, we will begin with Franklin. And please explain your message. Again, if you do not have a specific message, explain why you are running for Senate.
My message is We Are Not Alone. I was inspired to make this message after reading Isaiah 41:10, which tells us not to fear because God is with us. Because one of my biggest struggles is putting responsibility and pressure on myself that doesn't belong there and thinking that I'm alone. This verse reminded me that God is there to help me and comfort me, and that I don't have to let fear of failure or embarrassment get in the way. So as this message inspired me, I hope to inspire others to go out and share the gospel or step up as a leader and influence others in their community by reminding them that God is there with them and he will help them, strengthen them, and uphold them with his righteous right hand. They don't have to let fear get in the way of what God is calling them to do. Thank you. My name is Franklin McMahon.
Thank you, Franklin. We will now hear from Macy.
At my first national convention, I never dreamed that I would someday be standing on a stage in front of nearly 1,000 people sharing a message. And it turns out I was exactly right, because I'm not doing that. But I'm still so happy to be running for Senate. I'm Macy Smith, I'm from Arkansas, and this year I want to remind you to check your mirrors. So the inspiration from this message came from Isaiah 30:21. In this passage, God is rebuking the Israelites for turning from him to false idols. But near the end, he says this, and your ears shall hear a word behind you saying, this is the way, walk in it, when you turn to the right or turn to the left. The NLT puts it this way, your own ears will hear him right behind you. God's speaking to the Israelites here, but he's also providing a broader illustration of his character. When we turn off the path he calls us to, when our backs are turned to him, and when we want nothing to do with God, he's still right there, asking us to come back to him and rest in his love. As he put it in Isaiah, he is right behind us. So check your mirrors. You'll probably find that God is a lot closer than you think. I'm Macy Smith. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Macy. Now we will hear from Claire.
Hey guys, once again, I'm Claire Blassingham. I think I've been in TeenPact for 3 years, and I think the number one thing that the Lord has taught me and shown me and reminded me is that this life is about him, and everything that we do in this life should be for him, and that simply we are not our own, but we belong to him and we are his servants. And so the reason that I'm running and the message that I'm running with, just the reminder, I just see that if the Lord gives me a platform that I can proclaim his name and remind people that we are his and we are not our own, then I want to take that. And that's why I'm running, and that is my reminder for you guys. Once again, I'm Claire Blassingham.
Thank you, Claire. Now we will hear from Sarah.
Hey guys, once again, my name is Sarah Body and I am running with the message, Why Me? Now, in this current situation, this confusing time we're living through, I started dwelling on what the natural human response is to uncomfortable situations. And I was really hit with the idea of why me? Now, this is a very self-centered way that I think a lot of people react to discomfort. They start beginning to wonder, why is it me that this is happening to? And then I was reading in 2 Timothy verse 1:7, where Paul tells us that God does not give us a spirit of cowardice, but one of power. And I think when we ask why me with an attitude of self-centeredness, that is not what the Lord is calling us to do, but rather experiencing these situations of discomfort with a spirit of power is what we are really called to do as Christians. We are supposed to see these situations as an opportunity to praise the Lord in the uncertainty and in the healing that we believe is going to happen, even when we don't foresee that as a possibility. Thank you once again. My name is Sarah Body, and my slogan is Why Me?
Thank you, Sarah. Now we will hear from David.
Well, hey everyone. Once again, my name is David Gause, and I am running under the campaign slogan of Different. There was a time in my life where I was lonely, scared, and purposeless. And it was like I was black and white. And this black and white came from my sin, and there was nothing I could do to change that fact. But everything changed when I met Jesus. Starting from my heart, I began to burst into color, and my loneliness diminished, my fear went away, and I now have a huge purpose. I have been chosen by God to spread his color around the entire world, and God has equipped me with every single thing I need to do so. I have the Bible, which is my direction booklet that I can use and hand out to other new painters who will spread God's hope and love. I have the Holy Spirit, who is going to lead me, and he is my art instructor. And I have the gospel, the life-changing color I have to spread to the world. I will never give up, and nor will Jesus. I am truly different. The question I pose to you, TeenPact Nation, is, are you? Once again, my name is David Gause, and thank you guys for listening.
Thank you, David. We'll hear from Andrew.
Hi, everyone. My name is Andrew Gwynn, and my campaign message is You Are a Theologian. A.W. Tozer once said, "What comes into our mind when we think of God is the most important thing about us. Whether you like it or not, what you believe about God impacts every single area of your life. It affects what you think, how you act, and ultimately how you spend your entire life. As such, the importance of theology cannot be overstated. The purpose of theology is summed up in 2 Corinthians 3:18, which states, "And we all, with unveiled face, beholding the glory of the Lord, are being transformed into the same image, from one degree of glory to another. For this comes from the Lord, who is the Spirit." You see, when we get a clear picture of who God is in the fullness of his glory, then we become transformed to become like him. Just ask the prophet Isaiah. In Isaiah chapter 6, that classic passage, Isaiah has a vision of God. He sees God seated on his throne, high and lifted up, exalted above everything else. He hears the seraphim crying out one to another, "Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts." And then what's Isaiah's reaction to this? He pronounces a curse on himself. He says, "Thank you. My name is Andrew Gwynn."
Thank you, Andrew. Now we will hear from Elise.
Thank you, Olivia. My name is Elise Hof, and my message is pursue. There is a plague of spiritual apathy going around right now, and no one is immune. During this seemingly dull time in our lives, we waste the waiting and we overlook opportunities to submit to God's will. However, God doesn't call us to serve him exclusively when we see fit. Our desires, our pleasure, our false comforts cannot venture beyond the foot of the cross. Our attitudes of apathy only take us in circles. That place in our lives where we used to fill with comfort is now replaced by faith when we turn the corner, move into action, and pursue Christ. Don't let the current circumstances hold you back. God's plan never takes a leave of absence, no matter how much we feel the world spiraling around us. Even in this time of crisis, we are called to pursue Christ. We will never grow if we just live life. If we ride life like an escalator, we will never grow closer to God. Pursuit in Christ takes active pursuit and attentiveness. So what will you choose, apathy or attentiveness? Thank you. My name is Elise Hof.
Thank you, Elise. Now we will hear last from Rebecca.
Hi guys, I'm Rebecca Levin and I'm running with the slogan Reaching Christ. In Mark 7:7-8, Jesus says, "Ask and it will be given to you, seek and you will find, knock and it will be opened to you. For everyone who asks receives, and he who seeks finds, and to him who knocks it will be open." With the current situation, it's always hard to reach Christ, but we have to endure and continue on reaching Christ, to keep a fruitful relationship with him and to love. Once again, my name is Rebecca Levin and I'm running with the slogan Reaching Christ.
Thank you, Rebecca. For this next question, we will begin with Elise. Why did you run specifically for the position of senator instead of representative?
That's a great question. My name is Elise Hof. I chose to run for senator. Well, initially I was very apprehensive about running. I've never been to national convention before, and I was very inspired watching last year, watching the different speeches, and I decided that running was something I very much wanted to do after all. I chose to run for senator because when I looked at the different positions and what they all required, I saw that senator was, I didn't feel equipped to run for president or vice president, but I knew that I wanted to achieve the highest possible position that I could and to use my time to serve Christ. And seeing as senator gave me more time to share my message, that gave me hope. And that is why I chose to run for Senate, because I saw a greater opportunity to share my message and to have more time to really express what God has laid on my heart with TeenPact Nation. So that is why I chose to run for senator. My name is Elise Hof. Thank you.
Thank you, Elise. And next we'll hear from Rebecca.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Levin, and I'm running with the slogan Reaching Christ. And probably the main reason I decided to run for Senate instead of representative was I thought that is the same as Elise. I thought I was going to be able to better spread my message as a senator instead of a representative. And I felt that presidential or vice presidential might be a little bit too much, especially since I'm new to this national convention, voting and running. This would have been my first NatCon, and I didn't know how it was. Once again, I'm Rebecca Levin. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rebecca. And now we will hear from Franklin.
My name is Franklin McMahon, and I actually initially was going to run for representative, but then whenever I applied my message to myself, I sort of reminded myself that I should step up and do what's harder, even if I'm a little bit afraid of doing it. And so with the position of senator, I knew that it would be a challenge. As many people can relate to, TeenPact has given tons of people challenges to step out of their comfort zone. And every time that I've taken a challenge like that, I've been able to see myself grow as a speaker, leader, and servant. And I just wanted to see that kind of growth even more so. And I thought that I could have like the optimization of that growth if I were to go for a higher position that was a little bit harder. And secondly, just because I thought that I was equipped to represent you all in that role. I know that I would be equipped to represent you all and representative as well. I thought that maybe not president, maybe there would be someone that was slightly better. But for senator, I was sure that I could represent you all well in that position. Thank you. My name is Franklin McMahon.
Thank you, Franklin. And now we will hear from Macy.
Hi, I'm Macy Smith. When I decided to run, there were a whole lot of people running for representative, and there were only a couple running for Senate. And as I thought about what I wanted to run for, I realized that I didn't want to contribute to one office getting packed out with candidates. I wanted to kind of balance it out, balance the scales, I guess, especially in a year where elections have been pretty much turned on their head. So I would say that that's the main reason that I chose Senate. Thanks. I'm Macy Smith. Check your mirrors.
Thank you, Macy. Next, we'll hear from Claire.
Hey again. Once again, I'm Claire Blassingame, and I'm running with the reminder that you are not your own. And I really couldn't pinpoint it if I tried to think why I chose to run for Senate versus representative, but I don't necessarily see it as positions. I just know God was calling me to run, and I think he was telling me no matter which position you're running for, that if I'm speaking his truth, that is what he wants me to do. So I didn't feel led to do one or the other, but Senate is what he placed in my mind and my heart. So that is what I went for. I didn't necessarily see it as a position, but simply that he's calling me to use this platform for him. And that is why I chose to do it, simply because it was placed on my mind and my heart. So once again, I'm Claire Blassingame, and I'm running with the reminder that you are not your own. Thank you.
Thank you, Claire. Next, we'll hear from Sarah.
Hey guys, once again, my name is Sarah Body, and I'm running with the slogan, Why Me? Fun story, I actually was adamant against running until about 2 weeks ago. And then I was reminded that TeenPact has really taught me all my leadership skills, pretty much. And I owe a lot of what I know about leadership to TeenPact. And this is an incredible way to exercise those skills and to thank TeenPact for equipping me. As for why I specifically chose to run for senator, I want to echo a lot of what Claire and Macy said. I don't really remember making a conscious decision thinking representative versus senator. It's not necessarily something I put a lot of thought into. I just kind of felt my cursor going towards senator. Maybe that was because there were less people registered there. And one of the main reasons I was running was to aid TeenPact in the leadership realm, which is my main motivation for running. Again, my name is Sarah Body, and my slogan is Why Me? Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. Now we'll hear from David.
Well, once again, my name is David Gause, and something I learned last year at National Convention while running for representative was that I love elections. It's just a whole lot of energy, a whole lot of fun, and I like putting together my theme, my project, the whole deal. But although this year I did not know that I was ready to run for vice president or actual pres, that was just too much pressure for me. But senator seemed like the next logical step. So that is why I'm running for senator. Once again, my name is David Gause. Thanks.
Thank you, David. And finally, we'll hear from Andrew.
Hi, everyone. My name is Andrew Gwynn, and my slogan is "You are a theologian." So when it comes to running, I actually signed up last minute. I saw that registration was closing for candidates, and I knew that if I didn't sign up, I would regret my decision not to run. So it wasn't really a conscious decision like everyone else said as to whether or not I would run for Senate or representative. I think subconsciously I knew that senators had more time to share their message. Apparently I didn't have enough time. So if you guys want to see the rest of my message, go head on over to my Instagram at Andrew Gwynn for Senate. Once again, my name is Andrew Gwynn and my slogan is "You are a theologian." Thank you.
Thank you, candidates. Now for this next question, we will go ahead and begin with David. And the question is, how many tennis balls do you think could fit in a limousine? And for this question, we are looking for your reasoning rather than a particular quantitative answer. So please give us your reasoning for how many tennis balls you think could fit in a limousine. And again, for this, we will begin with David.
Well, once again, my name is David Gause, and this is an interesting question. I would say probably about 10,000 because tennis balls are pretty small and limousines are huge. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, David. And now we will hear from Andrew.
Hi, everyone. My name is Andrew Gwynn, and I cannot say I've thought about this question at all until about 3 seconds ago. But as for an actual number, I'm going to guess 5,000. But as to how I would figure that out, I think I would first measure the circumference of an actual tennis ball and then calculate the area size of, a limousine, and then figure out how many can actually fit in there. And also what kind of limousine, because limousines can be all sorts of different sizes. So there are a lot of different factors that go into this, and I don't really know, but that's the best answer I can give. Once again, my name is Andrew Gwynn. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrew. We will now hear from Elise.
Thank you, Olivia. So my take on this, I think you could fit at least 10 inside of a limousine. My reasoning for this is if we're considering the tennis balls to be conscious beings, then we'd want to be sure they all have their own seat with a seatbelt, right? We want to value the lives of tennis balls. I'm actually a tennis ball life advocate. So I very much value their safety in the limousine. So I believe that 10 would be a good number because I think that every limousine probably has at least 10 seats, and then they'd all get a seatbelt and they'd be safe. Thank you. My name is Elise Hof.
Thank you, Elise. We will now hear from Rebecca.
Hi guys, I'm Rebecca Levin, and this is a really different kind of question. I would probably say 999 because tennis balls are odd shaped and a limousine is huge, and I have no idea what other number would come. Thanks again. My name is Rebecca Levin.
Thank you, Rebecca. We will now hear from Franklin.
My name is Franklin McMahon, and the first thing that comes to my mind with that question is, why would you want to? But a real answer to that would be several thousand at least. But I think the way I would think of it is really just as many as I would want to, because I would never have enough tennis balls to fit all of them in a limousine, actually fill it up. So my answer to that is going to be as many as I want to.
Thank you, Franklin. We will now hear from Macy.
Hi guys, my name is Macy Smith. I'm going to take a really wild guess and say that one person equals 50 tennis balls. And I'm going to take another wild guess and say you can fit 20 people in a limousine. So that's 1,000. And then I'm going to add in another 2,500 tennis balls because obviously there's a lot more room counting trunk space. So I'm landing on 3,500 tennis balls.
Thank you, Macy. We will now hear from Claire.
What's up? As I was thinking, I decided on the number 742. Thank you. I'm Claire.
Thank you, Claire. And now we will last hear from Sarah.
Hello, my name is Sarah, and I think that there are several factors we need to take into account here. Firstly, the size of the limousine. Secondly, the state of which the tennis balls are in when inserted into the limousine. For example, one could potentially explode each tennis ball and just put the debris into the limousine. One could cut them in half and sandwich them together so they fit nicely. So considering those things, plus one seat for a chauffeur and one seat for a DJ, I think that about 729 would fit in a limousine.
All right, candidates, for your next question, we'll be starting with Macy. You can tell a lot about a leader from how they respond to people in positions of authority who are over them. So explain a time when you disagreed with the decision of someone who was in authority over you, and then how did you respond to this particular situation?
Definitely. So I'm Macy Smith, and one time that I can distinctly remember disagreeing with the decision of a leader is when my parents decided that we were going to be going to McDonald's for dinner on a road trip. I've never been a huge fan of McDonald's fries. I've always preferred Chick-fil-A, I have to say. So I was not okay with this decision. But when I voiced my concerns to my parents, they told me that McDonald's was going to have to be okay because the next Chick-fil-A was 100 miles away. So that's a time that I disagreed with a leader and had to be okay with it. I'm Macy Smith. Check your mirrors.
Thank you, Macy. The next person we'll hear from is Claire.
Hey guys, once again, I'm Claire, and I'm running with the reminder that you are not your own. And I remember one time I was at a TeenPact event actually, and an older lady there, we were just having breakfast, and she simply just came to me and told me a couple of things that she was encouraged by in me and a couple of things that she thought I could work on. And so at first I was really encouraged, and, you know, of course, pride swelled in my heart. But then as she told me things that she thought I could work on, I was in denial, saying, no, well, I didn't do that. I wasn't leaving this person out. But as she was telling me these things, I realized that is a blessing from the Lord. And I saw that I should be thankful for that instead of disagreeing with her. And as I thought about errors that she was pointing out, I realized that I had been leaving this or that person out, or I had been doing this. And so I chose to see it as from the Lord versus as, even if I didn't necessarily agree with that, I saw it as from the Lord. And so from that, I used her advice, and I was able to go back and invest in people better simply because she had come to me about those things. And so even though I didn't necessarily agree with her at first, I saw that it was from the Lord, and I was able to just respond to that in a different way. Once again, I'm Claire. Thank you.
Thank you, Claire. Now we'll be hearing from Sarah.
Hello guys, once again, my name is Sarah Body, and I'm running with the message, Why Me? So during quarantine, I actually began working at a hardware store. And being in retail, there are some difficult customers that come into the store, but you're ultimately taught that the customer is always right, therefore they are an authority over us. And there was one situation, actually, I believe it was about 2 days ago, where a customer got mad about a certain policy and began personally insulting one of my coworkers, and left the store and made a very big mess of it, started calling our boss. A bunch of people had to come. Altogether, it was not a pleasant situation. And in that, I do really think that this person should have maybe approached the boss privately, asked him about the policy, double check that it was correct, and perhaps done business elsewhere. But I'm learning a lot from working in retail, so I really appreciate these experiences. Once again, my name is Sarah Body, and my slogan is Why Me?
Thank you, Sarah. Now we'll be hearing from David.
Once again, my name is David Gause, and this past semester I got to take a class in video technology. And following underneath leadership is very hard in the art section because a lot of art is opinion. And so someone to come and tell you, hey, this is the way it should be done is like, wait, but that's your opinion. So one area where I came into this was my teacher had a very drastic opinion in art and how I should do video than I did. And I was the director of a video project, and I would do some things in a different way. And she would come in and be like, you need to change that. I'm like, no, I did that intentionally. And it was hard. It was hard to follow under leadership, but the job as a student is to follow underneath your teacher. And that is something that I got to learn this semester. Once again, my name is David Gause. Thanks.
Thank you, David. Next, we'll hear from Andrew.
Hi, everyone. My name is Andrew Gwynn, and I'm going to tell you a story. So last year, I served with Child Evangelism Fellowship as a summer intern. And during one of the VBSs, one of the ladies from the church bought a bunch of comic book Bibles, and she, at the end of the week, was going to hand them out to everyone. And so she first showed them to me and to the rest of the team, and she asked us what we thought about them. And so personally, I think that comic book Bibles just place Jesus on the same level as all the other superheroes or people in, comic books, and it takes kind of a stab at the authority of Scripture. So I was personally quite against it, but so she asked us what we thought about it, and Chris St. Clair, he said, "Wow, that's something." And one of the people on our team asked me what I thought about it, and I didn't really have a good answer because I was put on the spot. But personally, I think if I had gone back there, I probably would have voiced my concerns and try to have pointed out the fact that it might not be the best idea. Thank you. My name is Andrew Quinn.
Thank you, Andrew. We'll now hear from Elise.
Thank you. My name is Elise Hof. One way that I have experienced this issue is I worked at a old-time photography studio for 3 summers where you dress up like cowboys or 20s gangsters or pirates and we take group photos of you. I was a photographer there and I had a group come in, and it was a heavier set lady, and I believe she had 4 or 5 kids. And she had a certain way that she very much was opinionated about posing this photo, and I didn't want to cause conflict. It was a very busy day, so I was trying to move the groups through. We took the first round of photos, and it was very apparent to me that we were going to have an issue when I was selling, because I knew that she would not be very pleased with the result. So I asked her, I said, "Hey, would you be willing to do another pose here?" So I took the group and I moved them around to the way that I had been trained to do so. And after all, she ended up picking out several photos, and I very much was grateful for the time that I took to take that extra set of photos, because she ended up buying just a large quantity of photos. And it was a big benefit to my employer because of how much we sold. And she ended up picking all of the photos that I had taken the next step with and set the new pose. Thank you. My name is Elise Hof.
Thank you, Elise. And next we'll be hearing from Rebecca.
Hi guys, I'm Rebecca Levin, and once I experienced this situation was last year when I tore my rotator cuff. I had to go to a special doctor for shoulders, and he told me I would not be able to practice for the high school state championships. And I thought that it would be better for my body and my life if I did train for these states. However, I did have to listen to the doctor and not train for states. And that's a way that I learned from this situation. Once again, my name is Rebecca Levin, and I'm running with Reaching Christ. Thank you.
Thank you, Rebecca. And finally, we'll be hearing from Franklin.
Hey guys, my name is Franklin McMahon, and I have a pretty personal story with this. Last summer, I was having sort of a disagreement with my parents over whether or not I was going to continue throughout my senior year as a homeschooler. They liked being a homeschooler. And I approached it more like confrontationally, which is not the right way to do it. But then after I realized that I could look for a positive in that and that it wouldn't be the end of the world, I approached my parents in such a way that I was looking for what could the good outcomes be, because I knew that they only wanted the best for me. But I just told them how I respectfully disagreed and why I did. And once I approached it that way, they actually let me make the decision on what I was going to do. Thank you. My name is Franklin McMahon.
Thank you, Franklin. And for this last portion, we will be listening to the name and slogans of each of the candidates. So for this, we will begin with Rebecca. Please say your name and your slogan.
Hi guys, I'm Rebecca Levin, and my slogan is Reaching Christ. Thank you.
Hey guys, for the last time, my name is Franklin McMahon, and my message is we are not alone. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Macy Smith. Check your mirrors.
Hey guys, once again, I'm Claire, and I just wanted to remind you that you are not your own.
Hey guys, my name is Sarah Body, and my slogan is Why Me?
What's up, guys? My name is David Gauze, and my slogan is Different. Thanks.
My name is Andrew Gwynn, and my slogan is You Are a Theologian. Thank you.
Hi, friends. Thank you so much for tuning in today. My name is Elise Hof, and my slogan is Pursue.
Thank you, senatorial candidates. All right, for the next portion of our open forum, we will now be hearing from our final group of individuals, and those individuals are our presidential and vice presidential tickets. So for this time, we will have a similar setup where we will be asking you all some questions, and your ticket will have the opportunity to respond to those. They'll be directed at either the presidential or vice presidential candidates for the majority of the questions, and you will have 90 seconds to answer these questions unless otherwise directed. So in the Perseverance Party this year, we have 2 tickets. First, we have Britton Miller and Grant May running for president and vice president. And then we have Jake Myers and Katie Patterson also running for president and vice president. So for this first portion, you will have 2 minutes. And during this time, you will just be able to explain your message and why you are running as a ticket and provide your name and your slogans. So for this, we will be starting with the Miller May campaign.
Hey y'all, I'm Grant May, and I'm running alongside Britton Miller, like they said, for TeenPact student body and vice president. So we started this whole campaign. We had a message we wanted to share. Our message was one of urgency. We saw a ton of apathy in the American church. Faith seemed so flippant among American Christians, and we had a vision of what the American church could do if tested. We believe Christ calls us to be more. He calls us to pursue others. He calls us to reach out to those who may be on the outside. And he calls us to serve those who may not be served otherwise. Our whole campaign theme centers around this message of urgency. It is SOS, and that actually stands for Save Our Souls or Save Our Ship, which we believe there are so many people out there in this lost and hurting world that need the love of Christ. Thank you. I'm Grant May, and I'm running alongside Britton Miller.
And now we will hear from the Myers-Patterson campaign.
My name is Katie Patterson, and I am running alongside my great and wonderful friend, Jacob Myers. At the very beginning of this TeenPact season, Jake and I got to talking, and we realized we had a very similar call on our lives that the Lord placed on our hearts. Something we realized is that people way too often rely on ministries for their spiritual sustenance, and specifically within TeenPact, people rely on the ministry for their spiritual sustenance. But something we realized, especially with the state of being that our world is currently in, is that we cannot rely on these temporary things for our dependencies and for our fulfillment. TeenPact, as great as it is, and as much of the goodness of the Lord that it shows, it is not eternal. And so something that we are running with, and the call that we are running with, is that we only have one blank in our life, and our blank has to be filled with Jesus, the only one who can and will fulfill.
The heart that Katie and I had behind this entire campaign was, in the end, the heart of TeenPact was never the programs. The programs were certainly an excellent aspect of TeenPact and an aspect that we all enjoyed. However, the heart of TeenPact is raising up Christian leaders to magnify Christ everywhere in their life. This year, we had TeenPact taken away from us in a way we've never seen before. The heart that Katie and I had was to see the entire TeenPact nation live out the heart of TeenPact, even if we didn't have TeenPact. Our call to you is to make sure that the only blank that is filling in, that the only thing that is filling in your blank is Jesus, and to live out your life completely and dedicated, putting all of your dependency on him and him alone. Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much, candidates. This next question will be directed to the vice presidential candidate, starting with Katie Patterson. What were some of the challenges you faced campaigning over an online format?
Absolutely. So I think one of the most difficult things about campaigning over an online format would first and foremost just have to be the communication of it. I have been reading a book just about the harms and the effects of your phone. And so at the very beginning of the year, I was determined to stay away from my phone. But running a campaign, you constantly have to be on your phone because that's your only form of communication. The second one would just have to be self-sacrifice. We don't get to have the in-person election, which is actually a beautiful thing because it required Jake and I to put our full dependency on the Lord. And so that would be my answer to that question.
Thank you, Katie. And we will now hear from Grant.
Grant, if you would unmute your mic so we can hear you.
Yeah, so our entire campaign was really thrown off. I hadn't been to NatCon in the first place, so I was really looking forward to going and getting to know people, maybe reaching out to people who weren't super involved in the TeenPact world. Our whole mission is reaching out to people and living with that sense of urgency that Christ calls us to live with. And so when COVID really changed everything up, it presented a whole new challenge for us as a campaign team, really trying to reach out to people and make sure they felt involved and connected in all that TeenPact has to offer, which is so, so much.
Thank you, candidates. This next question will be for the presidential candidates, and we'll be starting with Jake. And our question is, TeenPact's slogan is changing lives to change the world. So on a personal level, what do you hope that your impact on the world will be?
Like going back to what I was talking about just earlier, the heart that Katie and I had behind this entire campaign was to live out the heart of TeenPact, even when TeenPact was taken away from us. I can honestly say that TeenPact is an organization and a ministry that has changed the trajectory of my life in countless ways. I've had the opportunity to be around it for a lot of my life. However, I don't want to just stay in the TeenPact world. I want to go beyond that, to live out the heart of TeenPact, to magnify Christ even when I'm not at a TeenPact class or a TeenPact event. That's what my goal has always been, because so often it's easy to be sort of stuck in the TeenPact world. However, we're called to live out the heart of TeenPact, to magnify Christ even beyond that. And that's the goal I've had throughout my entire time of TeenPact, and running this campaign has even brought that goal to the forefront of my mind. I'm Jake Myers.
Thank you, Jake. Now we'll hear from Britton.
Hey guys, I'm Britton Miller, and I really think it's so important to be intentional with the people that God places into your lives. As an individual, I always try to invest in those individuals. My goal is to show people that they have purpose, they have God-given potential, and that as individuals, they can live to glorify and to magnify Him if they realize that purpose. I try to be intentional with my conversations by making sure that Jesus Christ is emphasized in them. I try to lavish love on other people by serving individuals, by telling them that they are image bearers, that they have this potential to magnify Christ. I think that we as TeenPacters can really do this in our lives at home. I think that we need to be urgent with the way that we interact with others, that we need to show joy, we need to show hope, that we need to be ambassadors for the kingdom. And we can do so by just taking moments to build little conversations that can have a lifetime of influence.
Thank you very much, candidates. This next question will once again be directed to the presidential candidates, starting with Britton. What is the stance of your campaign within the Perseverance Party on this year's election campaign issue of international trade?
Hey guys, I'm Britton Miller again. And yes, so this year the emphasis is on foreign relations and trade policy. And as a party, we feel that is very essential for the United States to stay within the World Trade Organization. However, we also note that there must be changes to the policies of the World Trade Organization. We believe that the WTO needs to require nations to be more transparent, specifically China with their trade deals. We think that manufacturing needs to be brought to the United States more than we currently have, so that we can continue to build our economy and that we can provide great jobs for the individuals who live in our nation. We need to be making product that can serve those who have needs within our community. With COVID-19, we have seen this definitely demonstrated, and how we need to continue to produce.
Thank you, Britton. We will now hear from Jake.
This year, the United States of America has been faced, and the entire world has been faced with a very unique situation that arguably we haven't even seen before. And this situation shed light on a problem with how America comes and how it faces this concept of international trade. quite simply, as a Perseverance Party ticket, it's our stance that we need to first and foremost prioritize the American people and the American economy. Yet the COVID-19 pandemic has showed us how often we rely on international trade too much, specifically in our medical supplies production. The entire pandemic has shown how hospitals simply don't have the supplies they need. And to fix this, Katie and I have presented a plan to bring back the manufacturing of medical supplies to the United States. There are many upsides to this plan, considering just the lack of supplies that we have to fight a pandemic such as COVID-19. However, in the end, it's not just fighting the pandemic we're in now, but rather to look forward in the future and ready our nation to best protect our citizens for whatever might come in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Jake. So this next question is going to be for our vice presidential candidates. The office of vice president is highly collaborative in nature, as you'd be working alongside and underneath your running mate if you were to be elected. So starting with Grant, tell us about an experience where you have practiced collaboration with others in a leadership position.
I mean, honestly, the first one that really comes to mind is this year I got the opportunity to be a travel staffer for TeenPact. It was so unique and amazing to get to travel around and work with other like-minded teens under authority to put on an amazing program to teach others about US government, but more importantly, to teach others about Christ and to disciple them in his love and his word. This was an amazing opportunity that I've loved, and it's really the main reason I decided to run with Britton. We were on a class together and we loved working together so much that I threw out the idea to her and really wanted to serve as a vice president under her. And I thought she would make a wonderful president. So that's really where this idea kind of originated and why I want to run for vice president. Thank you.
Thank you, Grant. Now we'll hear from Katie.
Hello, everybody again. So actually just recently in the past 2 weeks, I just accepted a new job at my church for their young adult ministry. And there are actually only 3 people on the staff team. There is the pastor, and then there's a community director and a culture director. I just received the culture director position. This week, actually, 2 days ago, I got to meet with this community director and we sat down and we talked about what the summer is going to be looking like at this ministry that I'll be serving with. Together, both of us, we got to join and just cast the vision for the summer. And we get to be working together on what the discipleship will look like within the ministry and just kind of the face of the ministry and how we want to present it. It's not one of us doing more so than the other, but it's both of our gifts coming together to present something wonderful that all the world can see. Thank you.
Thank you very much, candidates. This next question is for the presidential candidates, starting with Jake. If elected, how will you use the other elected representatives and senators in your administration?
Katie and I actually had a wonderful executive order that we've been discussing to implement. And it all stems back to the heart that we had behind our entire campaign. Our campaign was, once again, the heart behind it was to see the TeenPact Nation live out the heart of TeenPact, even when we don't have TeenPact. We wanted to offer the entire TeenPact Nation an opportunity to do just that in the upcoming years. So we formulated an executive order that we would implement if elected. And it would be to have our entire administration, representatives, senators, and Katie and I, to make a devotional ebook by the name of Rooted. And the reason why we felt like this was needed is because right now we lack a certain community, but because of the COVID-19 pandemic. However, this brings us together as a TeenPact Nation, all seeking to root ourselves further in his truths, because we can't live out a life completely and wholly dedicated to Jesus if we are not rooted in him and his word. Once again, Katie and I's entire heart behind this is to see the TeenPact Nation live out a life completely and wholly dedicated to Jesus, making sure that every single one of our blanks is filled with Jesus. This would be our vision in our heart for our administration and how we would include everyone else. Thank you.
Thank you, Jake. We will now hear from Britton.
Hey guys, my name is Britton Miller again. And yes, I'm so thankful for all of those who are running for Senate and for Rep. And those positions can be really influential amongst the TeenPact body. And as a ticket, we definitely want our reps and senators to be people that have Christ-like character and that TeenPacters around the nation can look up to. And so Grant and I want the TeenPact senators and reps to be very active in the states where they live, to make sure that their TeenPact community is thriving. We want to make sure that they're investing in the students there and gives the materials already available to continue to share TeenPact. TeenPact is a program that has done so much, but the Lord, I believe, will use it more. There is potential in this ministry. And so I think we need our senators and reps to emphasize this, to live with urgency within their states and to be active there with sharing the gospel, with being servants amongst their states, and to continue to just bolster the ministry of TeenPact in their home states.
Our next question will be for the vice presidential candidates. Grant, what makes your campaign stand out from the Myers-Patterson campaign? And Katie, how does your campaign stand out apart from the Miller-May campaign? For this question, we will be starting with Grant.
Yeah, so I've honestly really loved watching the Myers-Patterson campaign. One thing that I had a heart for, though, and so did Britton, is being some people who aren't super well connected in the TeenPact world. We've experienced what it feels like to be on the outside. At certain TeenPact events, it's easy for those who have been involved in TeenPact for forever to have all their friends, but it's a lot harder for the people on the outside. So one thing our campaign tried to focus on was bringing in all sorts of people who may or may not be super well connected in TeenPact, and really trying to bring those people into what all TeenPact has to offer. That's really been the heartbeat behind our campaign, and really just trying to inspire those people to live out urgency by reaching out to others and going and being a friend to those who may not have friends. Thank you.
Thank you, Grant. Now we'll hear from Katie.
I believe the vision that Jake and I bring to the TeenPact Nation this year is a very, very unique one. We're kind of running off of the idea that all things in this world are temporary and that there is only one thing that is eternal. And that one thing that is eternal is the one thing that we should be relying on. However, this past year, TeenPact got taken away. And something we've noticed is that TeenPacters way too often rely on TeenPact for their spiritual sustenance. The vision that we bring is very applicable to the current state that TeenPact is in. We as leaders, we need to reframe our dependencies. Is our dependency on TeenPact and the way it makes us feel? Is our dependency on the rendezvous that we have in TeenPact? Or is our dependency on the goodness that comes from Jesus? Jake and I have a vision for the TeenPact Nation. We want to see all TeenPacters live out the heart of Jesus. We want this to start within the TeenPact Nation, but what's cool about our vision is it starts within TeenPact and it flows out to communities, because it's not just TeenPact. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, candidates. And for this next question, we will go back to our presidential candidates. And the question is, what caused you to ask your vice presidential candidate to run with you? And for this, we will start with Jake.
That's an excellent question. Katie and I had the wonderful opportunity to work together on a class this past year, much like what Grant was saying earlier. And while we were working together, we realized how well we worked together, quite simply in the way our strengths and our weaknesses complemented each other. After the class, a couple people started suggesting that this could be a possible ticket. So we started to discuss with each other whether or not this was something that was right for us and whether or not this was a step of faith we should take. And as we sat down and had very extensive and long phone calls, we realized that we had the same heart and the same vision and the same holdbacks to running. We realized how similar we were in this, the same vision and heart we had for TeenPact, to bring back the elections to this idea of representation, to see the TeenPact Nation live out the heart of TeenPact, even when we don't have TeenPact. Once we realized how much we had in common, and we spent time in the prayer and in word and in counsel with others, we felt like this was a step of faith we should take. And we did just that. And it's something that I would never regret. And win or lose, it has been an absolute joy to be a part of. Once again, my name is Jake Myers.
Thank you,
Hey,
Jake.
guys.
And now we'll hear from Britton.
Hey guys, it's Britton Miller again, and I love this question. I think remembering back to when Grant and I first began talking about even running, it was originally because I was considering running for senator and he was considering running for rep. And then we began talking about different stances, different things that we would be running on, different messages. And one thing that we both felt was very important to emphasize was the urgency that the church needs to have with the gospel of Jesus Christ. And we both in our different settings had really seen how easy it is for individuals who are believers to be comfortable and to be okay with being in a place of comfort without speaking out, without really being a light to the world. You know, I think we can live with such urgency that we can stand out and that the watching world can see a distinction between us and between how they live. And as we began to compare these different experiences we were both having, we began to see that this is a message we could share together, and we could be even more effective as a ticket, sharing and continuing to press this message upon others. We could communicate effectively. And I think Grant has a great way with people. He has a great way that he engages and interacts with students, like I saw on the class that we were both on together. And his strengths and my strengths just really were compatible for this position.
Thank you, candidates. All right, finally, you will have 3 minutes to provide closing statements for the voters and reiterate what your vision is for the TeenPact Nation. So you may divide this time between the presidential candidate and the vice presidential candidate, however you would choose. And for this, we will be starting with the Miller May campaign.
Theodore Roosevelt once talked about a gray twilight that knows neither victory nor defeat. Those who dwell in this twilight live apathetically and don't have a divine sense of purpose. When deciding our message, we didn't know much, but we did know that we had a message to share. The most important part of our campaign to both of us was our message. We didn't care about the title, but rather wanted to use this as an opportunity to inspire urgency and denounce apathy. At the start of this year, I felt the Lord really putting the word urgency on my heart. I know it's cliche, but I decided to make that my word for the year. Little did I know at the time how imperative that word would have to become. It just so happened that God had been teaching Britton a lot about this subject recently. Well, COVID rolled around and this sense of urgency became more important than ever. It was now easier to disengage from relationships and live apathetically in isolation. This was not how Christ calls us to live. The American church tends to be filled with apathy because it is so easy to call yourself a Christ follower. But true Christ followers are called to more than just walking through the steps of a good life. We are called to be urgent. We are called to pursue relationships. And we are called to save souls. Our whole message revolves around the theme of what if. What if we were bold in our faith? What if we lived with the urgency God calls his people to? What if we as Christians chose to step out of the gray twilight that knows neither victory nor defeat? Now, to tell y'all more about the most vital aspect of our campaign is one of my best friends and possibly the future of TeenPact student body president, Britton Miller.
Thanks, Grant. TeenPacters, it's been an honor to connect with you all through this campaign. Today, we reside in a complex world, penetrated by fear and darkened by despair. In the midst of a pandemic, what will be our response? When our lives are plagued by suffering and disappointments, and when the brevity of life becomes evident, we as Christ followers know the truth of Isaiah 40. The word of our God will stand forever. If you observe the world around you, you'll probably notice much of what Grant and I have awakened to. A generation of individuals passionately pursuing many things that will ultimately deprive them of the single most essential thing. When the applause becomes a hollow echo and the spotlight flickers off, only emptiness remains, a soul absent of purpose and lacking in identity. It seems we've arrived at the peak of ingenuity, yet one virus has dismantled many false hopes for humanity.
And that is time. Thank you, Miller May. We'll now be hearing from the Myers-Patterson campaign for their closing statements. Just a reminder, you have 2 minutes.
Jake and I never wanted to run for the elections experience, but rather we wanted to run to represent the TeenPact Nation well. At the very beginning of our campaign, Jake and I laid out 3 visions that we both said we would not sacrifice throughout the entire elections process. One could say that these 3 visions were the heartbeat of the campaign. The first vision was, if TeenPact were to look significantly different this year, likewise, our campaign should reflect this. One of the ways we did this is by encouraging our entire teams to send devos to each other every single day. Likewise, we had a universal prayer time for every single person on our team where we would all pause our schedule and we would all come to the Lord together in prayer, believing for revival. The second vision we had was the idea of community. Jake and I have both realized how easy it is for a presidential ticket to become a praise of the 2 faces on a ticket. And this is something that we avidly wanted to steer away from. The things that you see Jake and I putting out are not just the efforts and the leadership of Jake and I, but it's the efforts and the leadership of all of those around us in our community. Lastly, something Jake and I noticed is how often people over-glorify elections. They praise the merch, they praise the faces, and they praise the message. It was these 3 visions that led Jake and I to run with the call that he is now about to explain.
The TeenPact Nation this year was faced with a hard and harsh reality. That quite simply, TeenPact is temporary. TeenPact is something that can and will fade with time. So often in our lives, we run to wells that run dry and fall at the feet of idols that don't satisfy. However, the problem is when these things are taken away from our lives, a blank appears. Yet we often fill the blanks of our lives with things that fade with time. It is talked both in James and in Ecclesiastes, how the things of this world are nothing but vapor, something that disappears and fades with time. Yet so often we fill our blanks with these things. Yet in reality, there's only one thing that can fill in our blank, because our blanks in our lives require something that is eternal, something that will last. And there's one name that can fulfill that, and his name is Jesus. Jesus will last. Jesus will fulfill. His name is the only one that can satisfy and fulfill our blanks. In the end, the call, it's simple, and the answer is rich. Fill in the blank. Thank you.
Thank you, candidates. And I would just like to apologize as I gave Miller May 1 fewer minute than I gave Myers Patterson for their closing statements. So as a campaign, if you would like to wrap up your closing statements, you'll have another minute to do so now.
Hey guys, it's Britton. I'm so thankful for this opportunity to run alongside Grant and TeenPact Nation. I just want to close with this. Currently, from New York City to Detroit, in poverty and in wealth, from individuals and families, we hear a broken cry, an SOS. Our lost world is crying out with desperation. Save our souls. TeenPact, we know the answer. It's Jesus Christ and the hope of the gospel. The world has an empty hope, but we have an empty grave. Because of this, we cannot settle for apathy when we are called to urgency. The truth that we have is revolutionary. We must be ambassadors for the light. Will you join Miller May in answering this call to urgency? Thank you.
Again, thank you to both our presidential and vice presidential candidates for your time this evening and for answering these questions. In addition, we want to again thank our representative and senatorial candidates for joining us and participating in this open forum. And we also want to thank you as viewers for tuning in and watching this open forum so you can gain a better understanding of who you would like to vote for.
Yes, thank you so much to our candidates as well as our viewers. Now that we have reached the conclusion of this open forum for the Perseverance Party, voting will open after we end this meeting. So for the purpose of voting, just keep in mind that you can vote for 9 representative candidates. You can vote for 4 senatorial candidates and for 1 president and vice presidential ticket. If you are a candidate, you are welcome to and ought to vote and may vote for yourself. And in order to vote, look back at your voter ID from your voter registration confirmation email that you have received. If you can't find it there, then log into your registration account at teenpact.com/events, and you should be able to find your voter ID in order to vote. Voting does end at 11:59 Eastern time tonight, and you can see that link there at the bottom of the screen. That is where you will be able to vote. So do vote for the candidates here that you believe would best represent you and best represent the TeenPact Nation.
On behalf of TeenPact Network News, Olivia and I would like to thank you all for tuning in to stream this open forum here tonight, and we hope that you have an excellent rest of your evening.